Hello everyone and welcome to Hitman Gauntlet. This is the Friday of the 1 week event and it is a big one with the first, actually only semi-final between MattySpice and TheObserver. Winner plays in the final facing Chris X3 for the Hitman Gauntlet title. And we will have two other matches here, show matches for players who couldn't make it to the 8-player bracket, but we would really love to see them play. MattySpice versus TheObserver. First to 2.5 as always this week except for the final, and that means we have 5 game modes lined up. For anyone unfamiliar with the Hitman Gauntlet concept, we are not playing roulette only, we are focusing on up to 4 different categories of Hitman gameplay: roulette, bingo, contracts mode and full game speedruns. And this first game mode will be a contract mode, and especially a sort of interesting one. I guess it's a very novel idea. A series, so 3 contracts in a row. You complete one, you go to the next one. And any percent method. So, of course, there's no casual mode here, which would be in somewhere else, but you have to be in professional mode, but you don't have to keep your silent assassin rating. And if you complete all 3, then you are the winner. And this is already a bit frightening because there's a 60-second photo finish window here, which we might get between PC and PC. Just we'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. So the first game mode is arriving in 30 seconds, and luckily both of them have no game sound, so I'm just stuck with my voice for at least the next while. Hopefully everything else is going to work here, and then we can start our first game. For that final spot, we'll talk about the other semi-final and what happened, what didn't happen, and I guess the rest of the look of the bracket. But for now, we will start in 5 seconds with these 3 contracts, and I only have the IDs here, and they will start pressing OK very soon now, and we can see the stream delay, how big there is. Very nice, same 3-second delay, and it's much better than, of course, having not sure, you know, if it were YouTube versus Twitch with 10-second difference, then it would be a bit more awkward. But you can see the first one is Bangkok, and I can check out the other 2 contract IDs. It is 28 and number 3, so I think the number 3 is Sapienza. I'll have to check where 28 is. I think that should be Dartmoor. We'll see soon enough. But both players are now in. Observer with a very quick replan to see where the targets are. So MattySpice with a 5-second in-game time advantage. Starting kitchen staff and getting that first kill down. And just trying to stay alive in the hotel area. Observer looking for that angle, not quite a wall bang, but through the windows, which pretty generous, like lots of bullets can fall through there. Maybe even darts, if I'm not mistaken. But Matt is not looking for an angle. I think the game is a bit too loud compared to me, so I'll give it a bit more boost to myself and then get down on the game and let me know how that one goes. Okay, that's a bit loud again. But Matty and TheObserver are now both on 2 kills. They went for different ones as second. So interested to see how they will chain it back up with the third target. I think Matty can tie it closer to an exit, while TheObserver needs to go tuck-tuck if he has the range. We'll see it very shortly. Matty with this outside target, and unless he gets into a gunfight, he should be alright. Observer with the last kill. And looking towards an exit. It will be main exit. Don't think you can. Or is it going to be? No. If he has the range, then looking good for him. And Matty is only searching, so no combat here. Observer will be the first one to leave the area. Matty is also going towards an exit, and will be about 5-second difference to Observer after the first map. Closer to 10 rather, but that's definitely doable for MattySpice to overcome. So I think it is next the 28 contract. Yep, it's Dartmoor, alright. He had a Dartmoor contract in the pre-tourney show match, the unofficial one with the simple overlay and stuff. And now it makes a return for the second contract of this series. We have Yanni made one contract of the same type for all missions, and we are rolling from there. Ooh, Matty losing precious time at typing it out. That is why we give out the contract IDs 5 minutes earlier, so people have the chance to favorite them. Hopefully it doesn't make a difference here. Observer with 1 kill down, and this will be potentially a bit hairy unless he can avoid the combat mode, which is still just searching for him. And he only needs to go downstairs for the other 2 kills, as Matty unloading now and starting mention guard instead of mention staff. Gets a very quick kill and no other guards in the vicinity, so it's still just compromised. Of course, that upstairs target will be the main trip for Matty. Just passing won't matter too much here, of course, as the observer tries to go for the snipe. Combat now. Gets the headshot, but 2 guards are shooting at him. 1 more guard to take care of. This will be big if he can survive. He can, still in combat though. And he's out with 113. Matty will have a harder time to get these last 2 kills, and still in combat. Combat as well. That guard didn't die, so he will keep shooting at him. Now he's gone. And yeah, potential gunfight, death for Matty, but he's leaving the area, but more and more guards will be around here, and if the panic spreads inside the mansion, it will be very difficult for him to survive. Running out of bullets as well, as the observer is on map number 3 now. Sapienza it is indeed. And Matty just about survives, but now still in combat in the house, and this will be the perhaps all-important kill or death. Well, I guess not 47 killed, but he was being killed, which makes the difference in this first game mode. Of course, the observer still has to exit this last map to get his first point. Matty will replan, and it's very much reasonable to just go for the upstairs target first and then make your way downstairs. There's the loud gunshot, changing and still compromising the disguise. So said it will be a bit more of a detour or time loss there. It's the observer, 2 kills down, question marks on that housekeeper. But still only compromised and 1 target to go. No virus to be taken care of. And that checkpoint guard, I guess, guarding the Silvio bedroom. This last one, that was a miss. Second one hit, compromised, can change in disguise if preferred. Especially because he's now in combat. But he's not looking to get a safer disguise, he just wants to get out, and this is a lot of bullets there for something that seemingly could have been avoided. Muffins for the observer, tries to particle boost over that flower. Everything is fine besides a chain glitch in contract mode and full game speedrun, so that's all fine, and it seems like he survived this encounter. But these are 3 guards who will start to shoot bullets. Gets rid of the last one. The observer will stay in his suit. Props to him. Could have made it a bit easier for him on his last map, but he's going towards the exit now. Just that 1 drop away, and since this area won't panic, there's no time pressure of getting the job right. And we get this first point of the match. 32.5 here as well. And well, there's not much to see about the rating scheme, so I can just accept it and give it to the observer. That's the first point here. And I didn't roll for the subsequent game mode, so bear with me as I roll Season 2 for the next game mode, which is Season Silent Assassin Suit only.
Sorry, sir.
I just need to find it. Lots of typing here. Bear with me. The score is 0-1. And Season 2 Silent Assassin comes 4 minutes from 39 would be 43 past the hour. Yes, it's very intense typing. Welcome, Joker. So it is still just a done button, and I said it's 43 past the hour and lasts 45 minutes, and we should be good to go here in 3.5 minutes. Let's see what the players say after the first one. So yeah, this reminds me of just looking at another chat, the state of the tournament so far. So this is the second of the semi-finals, but in the fact that it is the actual first and only one that will be played. Sadly, Mika and Chris X3 couldn't and won't and aren't able to find a time that works for both of them. I think the closest they were, or at least the one that would be good for both of them, is Sunday 3 AM Central European Time, which is before the Sunday finals. It's just too close for the admins to handle. And of course we don't know who Chris will play, we don't know who Mika will play in a potential third place playoff, so it was just better to skip that one semi-final and hope for that third place playoff to be played by Mika. Of course we don't want him to be out today. I guess a double forfeit, but forfeit from both matches, what I want to say. So that put Chris in the final, who previously has defeated K-Kaneta, and now we have MattySpice versus TheObserver. MattySpice beat Joker 3-1, and TheObserver beat Yanini 3-1. So curious to see who will be the winner this time, and will it be a 3-1 score yet again? Kaneta is a bit worried that this will go long. Probably the longest category is Silent Assassin Suit only, and probably the longest season to do so. Definitely the longest season to do so, with 8 missions. And with, of course, Hawksbait taking at least 1 minute, but not Hawks is the main difficulty. I would say probably the longer missions here as well. Santa Fortuna, Mumbai, Haven Island. But still a season speedrun category, which means we don't have to worry about the mud shots and the particle boost, because they are all allowed here. I think that was one recurring theme of this tournament, whether to or how to make people remember of what rules apply in which game modes. Of course, it's a bit confusing to look at, and I would say so as an admin as well. Hard to be on top of 13 different game modes, 5 of which may come up in the same match. But we'll get there when we get there, and let's see if I can roll in advance for the next category, because we will have at least Freestyle Roulette, so that would be from 15 different maps, because we don't have, for Freestyle, we can't have the one target missions, and we can't have Hokkaido, and we'll talk about why that's possible. and I rolled, and I won't say what it is just yet. So 5 seconds until that second game mode, the Observer with the 1-point lead, but now a long one to come. Season 2, Silent Assassin's Tony, Hawke's Bay to Haven Island. It's not Saturday, but Saturdays there is the Saturday night SASO Race, and actually hosted by the Observer. But I would say that both of them are very capable Silent Assassin's Suit only runners. Not quite sure what Matty's PB is in Trilogy, but he has definitely run these. And the competitions as well, and I would say that Observer has practiced plenty for this competition and beyond, so both of them with the first try Hawks, no issues there, and I don't think Miami would be a big setback either. I think the real deal will start in Santa Fortuna in a couple minutes. I just hope the sound levels are still fine. Matty has always been too loud or too silent for me, and Observer has no game sound, so just hoping for a good balance. I should be the last person to talk about the strategies here, but I think you could have already seen how Hawke's Bay would turn out with the double chank on Orson and the guard, followed by the poke for Alma. And then it's a very important mini game, which is told by us by the game at the start of Hitman 2 to distract those guards, which you can do by shooting the I guess an oil tank. Not sure how is it called exactly, but in speedruns you just drop a duck for that, and yes, it is Orson, not Shantu. Loading time into Miami, and this reminds me of another 60-second photo finish window here, which luckily we have dodged so far in the tournament, at least for the season speedruns. Wouldn't be as bad to calculate the 8 loading time, but if you start to get those restarts, and if it becomes a struggle fest, which have been the case a couple of times this week, of course it's a really hard game mode to play in real time, and just for 1 point instead of the whole match. Can get tricky and long. The photo finishes can get tricky and long as well, but Miami so far still green guns for both players all throughout this category, and the Observer with the shot on Sierra. Wouldn't exactly call it a wall bang, because it's, I guess, not a wall, but you know what is it called? I guess it's a type of wall. It's a thin plastic thingy, and I ran out of English knowledge 15 minutes into this match. And to the question for Halberd, looks like the Observer used the Chank to KO or to pacify the guard, and Matty with a very comedic fish. It's an evergreen item to use in Hitman runs. That's the other Chank for Matty, and still first try for both of them. Would be amazing to see a actual. Well, it wouldn't be world record, but if any of these runs could be close to their PBs, I think that would be really nice to see in a tournament. And we have reached Santa Fortuna, which is the first main obstacle here, with the lockdown and falling object kill on Andrea. The bullet distractions turn into headshot for Rico, and then whatever is used for Jorge. I think I've seen different formats here. And the first restart for Observer with Andrea not running the right way. So this is now MattySpice's lead after slight loading time disadvantage. So let's see who can tackle this lockdown better. You can see it on the right hand side. Andrea indeed goes towards the right, but still cannot get the kill, the Observer. So now the MattySpice with 20 seconds into the run. We're going to get an even bigger lead. The first bigger than marginal. I wouldn't say it's sizable lead for Matty, but something starts to happen here on the left hand side. Observer third restart. MattySpice gets Rico in lockdown after a couple non-lethal shots on his body. I think he gets a headshot eventually. And I think now the question is whether those bodies are found in time. Of course, the roaming guards are a problem there. But to my little Season 2 knowledge, they would be turning away just when Matty arrives there. So there's a decent sized window until Rico would be found. There's the green gun kill for the Observer on Andrea. Always need to think about this target, sadly. So now Observer gets going as well, and it's 1 minute and 7 seconds, if I counted it correctly. But it's still only map number 3 of 8. What can still happen? First try headshot though, so Observer will catch up a little. And Matty misses the shot on Jorge. This could get tricky. Still green guns though, just need to stay there for 3 seconds. But now hunted by, I suppose, the guards turning his way. That's not really said well. Not the most straightforward drips there. Unfortunate for Matty to not get that headshot there. Or not to get a lot of those shots, and a lot of smaller restarts against one big one means the Observer now has the minute lead. But Matty is very consistent on the Andrea kill. I think that's 2 for 2. But the Observer is hoping that his one successful Andrea attempt will be the one that gets him out of Santa Fortuna. First try headshot Matty, and both are only missing the Jorge kill, and for Observer there is the Rico kill found. Both really close to that finish and being able to leave Santa Fortuna, which probably would be the longest, toughest. I think with Haven it would be a close competition. So now Matty with the Jorge kill. Both are using the Seeker. I think both darts as well. Yeah, first on the guard to go to the unfavorable bathroom, and then just a couple seconds later making Jorge sick as well so that he goes to the right one. The bathroom from which 47 has an angle next to the exit. Just one distraction shot for Observer, that's another difference. And there's the Rico found. Now it's 1 Rico restarts on both sides. Must be getting frustrating there, map number 3 only. But time will add up. 45 minutes for this game mode as well. Definitely the longest one, and perhaps the most prone to ties, but we haven't seen a tie in this competition so far, and hopefully we don't get there. Matty will have to restart his Andrea try. So now this is the Observer's time to get Jorge without a body found, but that's one of the Coco field workers turning around. I'm not sure if it's a cycle related or just went too close to them. Or of course head turn, the always present issue. This is definitely turning into a restart fest, sadly. Which is definitely frustrating for both of them. But they don't know that, of course, the other player is in similar situation. And in the last couple of minutes we've had one player trying with a good minute lead, but now they will be fairly close to attempting Jorge. That is if the observer can get the headshot on Rico, and that's the case. So now it's an 18-second in-game time disadvantage. And the... Okay, so now I think I'm finally piecing together the center for... Now, of course, the Rico body being found is a problem, and now there's the C4 on observer's side. Not now, but the first time I'm mentioning it from so many attempts, but the C4 will keep distracting those guards so that they don't cycle back to Rico. And Matty also using the bullet distractions to make the cycles longer. Now for Matty, needs to get that headshot right and survive for 2 more seconds. Matty's out of center for 2, and a big relief for him for sure. 148, which would indicate that the observer is just a couple of seconds away, but I think because it's taken just a bit longer on the Rico headshot, he won't have just as good of an in-game time, but sub 2 is still on the cards, misses the headshot, target lockdown. Really panicking to get out, but both of them are now green guns in Santa Fortuna and can go to Mumbai. Another 3-target map in succession. It's vastly different, I would say. Still has a very quick kill at the start, which is also an accident. I think it would be accident, and, well, accident-like situation with whatever is happening to Dawood in a minute. Falling out of bounds is sort of a fall, but sort of course, can get your body found, so we'll see if they can get his first try. Both are doing full cutscene for better timings on their ends. And the same Maelstrom kill for starters. The difference is now 20 seconds, 21. Second kill will be the falling object on Vanya. Used to be a dreaded kill because of her cycles, but I think the distraction panic makes it more consistent. More distractions on observer's side to turn those Queen's guards away. Still the whoosh from the civilians, but should stay green. Yeah, 2 green gun kills on each side. Now just Dawood's missing. With the sniper on the back. Must turn these civilians around, as well as the guards on the barge. And that's green guns, still green guns for Matty. That was a full whoosh, I guess, turned into some exclamation mark, but it sometimes stay green, so Matty is fine and first try out of Mumbai. Let's see if the observer can do the same. The body shot into that pool, which is kind of out of bounds as well. Green guns as well, and we are going to Whittleton. It's sometimes sketchy for sure, but it is the case. I think with the Dubai record as well, with all the bullet distractions, the Dubai SASO, I would say. When you can get those full whooshes and still stay green, despite very obviously be compromised by someone, but that's the game, of course. And I didn't see how much cutscene Matty did, but I think it is the RTA strat from Matty versus the in-game time from Observer. But these might still converge to similar time. It's hard to gauge as well. This was a practiced kill on Matty's side. Got both of the tranks and the syringe, the poison kill on Cassidy, so that's both targets down. The latter as well is 1 clue. So now it is the easy 2 for Betty. And yeah, Observer goes propane tank. Gets its first try as well, and I think it will be electrocution with the micro taser. for that other kill. Perhaps not, because... Oh, yeah, he just needs to turn around as NPCs because he's still carrying the sniper. That makes sense. Betty casually strolling past 47, picking up the cigar box, and Matty shouldn't be caught here anymore. Any bodies that are found on Cassidy's side will be fine. So Matty is actually first try besides Santa Fortuna. It's just that that map took 10 minutes for both players, which makes it a stressful experience. The Observer with the loud side KO. I think that's also consistent, but still scary with the panic. Plus, Spencer not seeing you, but he got the letter as well, and that's the last clue as well. Really close, still less than a minute separating both. Isle of Scale is next, which is, I think, map number 6 of 8. It's still very small to separate both players. Did not see the Observer start. But of course, Matt is starting Chapel. I think both are starting Chapel. It might be the more popular strat nowadays. I remember the SASO Race from last year, where the keep was much more popular, but I think that was for different reasons. Matty misses both of his darts. And because you want those guards out of the picture for that chandelier kill on Zoe, he decided it's better off with a restart. I don't exactly understand all parts of Matty's strats, but I think that's on me and not him. I trust his his SASO runs. It definitely converges towards this falling object kill, and I'm not sure if that's second. Okay, both of them hit for the Observer. And now Matty as well. Observer with 13-second in-game time lead, so close. Already got the Sophia lockdown on Observer's side. And on Matty's as well. Observer misses the first shot, but gets it green still. And second kill as well for the Observer. But Matty gets a non-target kill with the Zoe chandelier. But Observer gets a combat in the last second. He couldn't get far enough away from the raiders. Hands the lead back to MattySpice by just a couple seconds. Of course, still has to leave Scale and then 2 extra missions. Another back and forth map after flawless maps from the start. Apart from Santa Fortuna, it is crazy how similar they are in gameplay. Makes for a great watch, of course. Very tense as well. They don't know it that it is so close and that they are ripping at the same time or on the same maps. I guess the one aspect that hasn't been mentioned is the muffin to distract that one raider, I believe, from under the chandelier, so that Zoe will be the one under it, and only her. And that very tight shot, or very tight throw before the Zoe kill, so that everyone else stops in their tracks, and only Zoe walks under the chandelier. That's his 2 kills down. Can Observer get it? He basically finished before, but got into combat next to the helipad, and this is also very close, but seems green now. Observer's out. Can Matty do the same? Looking for that shot on the head, on the arm. Hand, sorry. Great. still exclamation marks and full wishes for Matty, but gets out, and it is still so amazingly close. Just 2 maps to go. No time for cutscene here. Observer knows that as well and goes instantly in. And will sedate Matteo for that first disc. Throws it right under Matteo for that first disc. And Matty will likely do the same. Yep, snail in hand. And it's one of the most straightforward maps, I would say. Thanks to that huge range from the snail, Matty also gets it by a less precise throw. But now it gets really tense. If they can get up to Athena, get that kill and the last 2 discs, and then 1 more map to win. And if they can win, or if they can do it first try, that is very likely the win. But if both of them do this without any restarts, then I think we have a really tough time in the next 15 minutes. So yellow guns and 2 discs, and Observer doesn't have the agency pickup. He needs 1 more Calmer to get rid of this, or to clear out this room. That's huge. And this is what Matty has practiced. Actually, he was practicing Season 2 before the stream. When I was setting up, I guess 5 minutes prior, he was checking the loadout for Season 2 SASO. So might have been on his mind to keep this agency pickup intact, and now it's more than a minute lead for Matty, and if this makes the difference, it's really going to be unfortunate for the Observer, but gets into combat with that first trank. He was seen just enough by that other guard to turn his run red. Observer gets another chance at it, and because of the earlier restart, his in-game time lead is now, I would say, 35 seconds, and it was a really imprecise throw, but still in range for Matty. Very nice for him. Yeah, good question. I'm not even sure if Fabian was KO'd with a Chank or a melee item, but now it's Observer, 2 discs, and a certain agency pickup. Matty as well, and he's solid on the first part, just needs to get that 1 Chank shot without, I guess, being seen, which is so rarely the issue. Cameras are still on, so if the bodies are lying for too long, then some other guards will come into the picture, but I'm sure they are both aware of this. 2 quick shots, and the first one missed. Observer will have to improvise this one. 2 guards are awake, and the third one will be woken up as well. This is getting really hairy. Does he not have 1 more Chank? That seems to be still yellow guns for some reason. That's amazing, and should be no lockdown, should be no one jogging his way in here. Still green, and that should be it. Has to stay in suit, of course, but so little issue. Observe with an amazing clutch to get to Haven first, and Matty also with a even better clear out. Also gets his green guns back, and we are going to Haven with, I think, a 15-second advantage after 25 minutes. Observer kept by 1 more guard, but gets out, and his lead will shrink to 10 or so seconds. And Matty with the particle boost gets even closer. Who will take this Haven? Whoever first try this one wins, and if both of them do, or neither, then we are going to have a really tough time. And I feel like this is also so dreaded at the end of Season 2 runs or at the middle of Trilogy runs. It's a cause for plenty of restarts, and I guess we'll just see who can get this first try. It's not a given, it's not a Hawks or a Miami. But the Observer has the first kill. It will be on a poison kill for Matty as well, with one distraction shot. That's no issue. The other two could be, because it will be a nice long range on Tyson in the cinema. And a complicated lure for Ludmila down to the water for an accident kill, which is either fall or drown, depending on how you count it. The Observer has the distractions, turns everyone around. That Matty gets a gunshot heard and is going to get cornered and gets red. This one is Observer's one to lose, but this is far from easy, I would say. Or I'd say this challenges a lot of people and can get restarts for this reason only. Lockdown on Tyson and the headshot. And if Ludmila is going down, which he does, if the Observer can get the leg shot, which he does, after a couple misses, then I think the Observer is out. And because it's a 125, I would say it's barely, but out of photo finish range, and the Observer gets an amazing second point after an incredible race between the two. Oh my goodness, what happened here? It's going to be gutting for MattySpice. Sorry, didn't give out the points. Now Matty should be notified. What did we have here? And the only tough part is that now we only have one guaranteed round to go, but what these players have done, it's been just so amazing to watch. We are going to play Freestyle Roulette next. Oh my god, nice. Going to have more intense typing. And it's just so gutting for MattySpice because he was minute 20 away. Because we have seen the start of his run when the Observer finished. So now we are playing Freestyle Roulette. And I have rolled the number 4, which is Bangkok, from the map pool of 15 as well. So I am looking for, oh, we need a time here, which is going to be 16. Okay, they didn't raise the point there, so good here. So we have a roulette spin next, and it is a freestyle mode from Bangkok, Cup 27. So this one is viable, and 16 past the hour should be good for 45 minutes round duration. And they're not leaked or anything, so Curry will be very happy to hear that. His hotfixes have made this so much smoother. So what do we have here? Freestyle Roulette. What is Freestyle Roulette? I'm sure most of you know what roulette is already. Then you get the random conditions, and you have to complete the mission with those conditions, and those are usually tied to targets. So you would get Athena Savalas from New York with Screwdriver as IT worker. But now Freestyle is special because these combinations aren't tied to specific targets. you will have agent number 1 with conditions and agent number 2 with conditions, and well, I'm just gonna have to improvise it the best way you can. That is 3 minutes from now. And just going to see if everything's alright on the other channels. It was a really close match for sure. And glad it was SASO for these two, and glad it was season 2 as well, because they're just so good at speedrunning, so it's really nice to see the real-time attack approach. But this being a first 2.5, Observer is now on a match point and just 1 win away from the final. To be exact, he's 1 tie away from the final. If for some reason you need to share the points here or in any future game modes, then he gets 2.5 and advances to the finals, where he once again will face Chris X3. After this, and we will have 2 bingo games if we get there. First the non-lockout part and then the lockout bingo. But for that, Matty needs to win the freestyle roulette. And let me see if I can find the freestyle brackets. Because I think the Observer didn't play and Matty did play. Yeah, so Matty has more experience. He actually took a map from Fenium, the eventual 3rd place finisher, so more experience on Matty's side. He didn't play Bangkok though, so curious to see how that goes in just under 1 minute. Crazy close so far. Good to see this match, of course, and then we have 2 other. Linux was in chat and was happy that this stream had reminded him that he has a show match in 45 minutes. Also on this channel, wasn't sure about it, but yeah, it's on mine, so if this goes long, then this stream won't even go offline, but that will require a bit more gameplay. Freestyle Roulette can take just 5 minutes, but can be a longer one. Let's see what this spin is. 1 target has to be eliminated with shotgun as recording crew, and the other with pistol as Abel da Silva. So I suppose it is a very straightforward Jordan rush with the agency pickup in the recording studio and starting in there, but both of them are starting suit, and I hope I didn't. That wasn't a requirement, by the way. It's just something that gives them more firearm slots, which is perfectly understandable. But Matty with a replan now and goes for that really quick recording crew kill, and then we'll use Abel kill on Ken, following some isolation. If you are starting recording crew and get the ISO on Jordan, then you can also get the letter in time for, well, from Neil, I guess. But it's very important to get it first cycle, because that speeds up your spin so much. Observer will start in suit and infiltrate in suit and gets compromised by shooting that camera. Chooses to replan, and perhaps this may give him the idea to replan, but no, because he just prefers the suit start with the 3 firearms. The pistol isn't required to be silenced. You could pick a loud one from many guards. Not exactly sure if the shotguns are available, as Matty going for the ISO on Jordan, just, I think the last one should hit. It's very finicky and it's very counterintuitive. the way it works, because, well, the sound booth is soundproof, says one of the guards or one of the NPCs, but it is just simply a lie. You can hear distractions outside. And Matty with the agency pickup will get that first kill, as Jordan is twitching a bit, but shouldn't be a problem. Silent shotgun, no problem, and perhaps we'll hide him as well. Bangkok is a daunting map, one of the, I think, the hardest of the 2 target maps. So no problems there, trying to be safe and hiding all those bodies. Yes, Hans says I think it's fair to say that most people have some strong feelings about Bangkok and just don't play it for that reason, especially if you get go on camera on a run. It can be really I guess demotivating. And Matty tries to counter it with a shot on the evidence, but he just missed the window. As Observer found just passing by the... I think it was the guard actually who... Okay, this was something, because you don't see a guard there, so it must have been the roaming tech crew finding something, but it's not a briefcase because it would have been picked up and reported to the guard. I don't know what exactly happened there, but Observer, you have to restart, and that gives Matty a 2.5 minute lead almost. I think Matty is going back because he really wants to take care of the evidence. Abel is in the other building, so it wouldn't be the case. The letter is across the hallway and lots of enforcers for sure. And I think he did end up replanning for another sedative. I'm not sure if it's a calmer or a silenced pistol, and then I guess a snail for the letter. We'll see very shortly, but you can see how hard it is to get here, and there's one more enforcer basically guarding the letter. He has no sedative, he has a gas device, and that's a big whoosh, and this is a spot where bodies can be found. I think can be hidden in this room, but maybe drawn into this edge delays the spin just enough so it will be fine, but Matty will have to wait for these cycles, I would say. Very awkward situation, sadly. And the Observer with the snail, I think that detonates it, but gets the ISO on Jordan. Now it just needs a recording crew. And you can't lure a recording crew in this room reliably if Jordan is hidden there. That will be scary for him, or scary for us to see. Because I think even a corner subdue will put him inside, and because he can see bodies during the subdue animation, I would say he for sure turns his head towards Jordan. I guess we'll see. As Matty has put the letter in his place, so second cycle letter lure is perfectly fine, and the Observer gets the body found, turning into a loud KO. Yeah, he wasn't corner subduing, but I think that wouldn't have mattered anyway. Unfortunate for the Observer, but he will do the, I guess, two actions in the different order. First the disguise and then Jordan. Matty with the second disguise. Very nice, no sedative way. We'll have to dodge all of these enforcers, and the door is guarded by one as well, so there's only one way out. I guess two, including the pipe. Has to jack him around. So many smaller problems with this map, or like completing a spin on this map. So it's understandable there, and we could already see Ken moving towards the meeting spot.
Hey, check that out, would you?
Crystal clear.
And that's a close one for Matty, but he gets away, gets around, and It's not the more often used way towards the meeting spot, but I think it's only this corridor which can be difficult. And that's a full whoosh and found trespassing for Matty. He had such a good run, and ending with that one of the last enforcers, because I think if he gets past that one, he would have waited for Ken to self-isolate and get the second kill. Very unfortunate.
Anybody there?
So Observer with the KO, and the change that he makes is to drag him around this tub, which I have recently learned that it's not a problem for falling object. There's a lamp over it, and just generally you wouldn't be able to get a falling object, but if you somehow glitch Jordan into it, or like have the two hitboxes merged, then you can get a falling object kill there. It's for another time. I think so, Kaneta. I think the tech crew start and the quick Jordan kill, and we'll replan for a sedative, no doubt. Yep. So the quick Jordan kill turning into a maybe first cycle letter would be probably the quickest way, but nothing wrong with the second cycle. Gives you more time to wait out Abel's timings if you are too late or not confident enough with different ideas. Observer has the first kill down as well, and more importantly, more than 2 minutes into the run. So if both of them were to use the letter in the second cycle, then the Observer is closer to finishing for sure. But the Able disguise is still required. The chain lure for Matty will get him the kill after 50 seconds, and if he uses the pipe, then first cycle is viable. Gets the shotgun kill, hides him, which makes it a bit tighter timing wise, but for all we know he might not be interested in first cycle anyway. We go down the pipe though, and has about 45 seconds to get the letter and go down those extra stairs. But he's an enforcer. Perhaps now he's leaning over, you have a chance. It'd be really tough, and yeah, gets into, or like gets suspicious by him. Tech crew is very underpowered when you want to speed things up, but of course your other option would be to change disguises for some extra time lost, probably the Jordan's bodyguards in this side room to the left, or just wait out the cycles and just give up on first cycle. Observer has made it to the, well, what was the name exactly? I know it's the Meadow Lounge, the big one. It was the Beauty Camberwell. What? It's a very awkward name, but I suppose. Small lounge he made it into. And he will wait out Abel here. He is just arriving, so that's perfect timing. Not an enforcer, no one else is in range, and he's inside enough so that no one from downstairs can see that body. And now we see the same situation on the Observer's side, but checks the body the same way and gets out of the room. Now I did not see if he got the letter previously. He definitely didn't use it in this cycle. And looks like it's going to be a different isolation here. Of which one would be the hotel staff floor, changing the hotel staff and escort him anywhere, more specifically into a restaurant bathroom.
You're freaking me out. Let's stop that.
Or, well, that would be the main one I could say. And Matty gets rid of the camera but runs into an enforcer. Oh no. was looking so good for him to get rid of that major obstacle, but sadly cannot get out with green guns. So now the observer 6 minutes in, and with a 1 kill advantage, but not exactly sure how he could do this one. I think I've seen everything in his loadout, from the Matic Seeker to the Silence Pistol as well as the Snail, so he can do anything with these NPCs, and it seems like he wants to get a hotel staff disguise. Almost gets caught chest passing from behind, but has the disguise now and will be able to... was almost going to be able to initiate that lure, but he was found where the bodies were found by the groundskeeper. Actually tied situation here. Matty 12 seconds in 13 compared to Observer now 12 and 13. And Matty has the quicker kill. But if he's looking for those extra obstacles to dodge, including the evidence, then it's a much harder situation, and he's still chest passing, but now it's nullified by that last enforcer. And lucky for him. Okay, well, not exactly lucky for him. I was going to say that with everyone gone, he could have the shotgun and pick up the letter. But I think Neil has left the area or something. Unfortunate restart for Matty. That enforcer will keep causing problems for both players. As I say, this observer shoots him, so that he's out of the picture. Looking for that last tech crew to see those bodies, and now it's much better for the observer. Very good timing for him to get a peekaboo or basically anything. I mean, he was just making him sick for an even quicker isolation. Well, probably not even quicker, but it's really close on timing, and safer to shoot the standing NPC than going for a long peekaboo for sure. So, Matty with a very early Jordan kill, and I suppose he just has to make a decision if he wants to risk it for a first cycle or go for the safe second cycle. And he's going down the stairs, going the other way around. I might see him wait out the cycles next time and just calmly go and place the letter end around the 2-3 minute mark, especially like this with the evidence being shot. Matty may not even go for the evidence now that he shot that camera. His main issue really, but Matty is going for... I was gonna say that he would go for the hotel staff, but he's going for the disguise first. Which I can understand now, because he wants a disguise that is allowed in that area, but has no enforcers. I'm not sure about the no enforcers part, because you don't really reach that area as able. You are of course only on Ken's side or recording studio. So we'll see how many enforcers he has. As I say this, he does end up going for... I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a hotel staff disguise. Yeah. He's talking one with the snail. It's far from straightforward with the snail in action and the fact that the ISO will be heard, but he's just not going to use the snail and jags and hides him before the guards come back. You can see it on the minimap that they are not coming, so perfect second disguise. But also proxy disguise. Well, he doesn't need the recording crew anymore, so he can do whatever with the hotel staff for sure. Question marks floor below, that's... But you are not allowed in the meadow lounge, sadly. You need to be a waiter, which is very specific. Observer has its own chaotic situation because he really wants the letter and wants to get out. He can grab the letter, has panicked all those enforcers at last. I think he needed an absurd amount of... Oh, MattySpice with a very bold grab. Kaneta said that the hotel staff grab was bold. Now, look at that one. Sadly didn't work. I think there was at least 2 other bodies to take care of. But good idea about the snail, but just wasn't working out for him this time. He could have used the coin to get through the other door and get to the area, or he could have stayed as recording crew, because we have seen on both sides now that that was a viable grab. But piece by piece, this run is looking more and more promising, but the Observer, for the most part, has the lead. And we'll be grabbing Abel for that second kill. Still no... Yeah, now, this time he has the letter. So once he has this disguise... Oh boy, that was also sketchy because Abel has started to turn away. But Green Gun's second disguise, all fine. And he's about on the timing. Oh, as Matty gets compromised. Well, Matty's luck is that the Observer has the misfortune of just missing the can cycle and having to wait 3+ minutes. Will be painful wait for the Observer, but he has everything set up at this point because he has the silence pistol and he has placed the letter to put Ken in motion, but that won't be for another 3 minutes. More than 3. So if Matty could get his first cycle going, it would be close. Matty has a ton to do, and it's a 5.5 minute. It's a 5-minute difference to be exact. But it can be closer than it appears. It just depends on how the letter will be acquired. And I think Matty just wants to go safe and get other disguises first. Turns yellow, so the evidence is also a case here. Which would be on this floor, but might just be waiting out the maid who strolls in there from time to time. As for the Observer, it is indeed some, well, painful, stressful. Not sure how players feel usually here. Because, well, if you can't make it quicker, then why worry about it? But, of course, 25 minutes in, 20+ minutes in, it can get tense for sure. And the bullet extraction Matty will open that door and has the angle and gets the green guns back. That's amazing. Nice one for Matty. And can actually make the difference in situations where Observer gets yellow guns at the end of his run. But with this spin, it's not a lot that can go wrong for the Observer. Considering, or he considers KOing these two. A subdue would not have worked. I think we've seen it a couple of days ago that that results in someone turning around. But now, no more NPCs to enter this area. And I'm not sure who will enforce Abel from Ken and Otis. But for now, he is just hiding behind this cupboard. And I wonder what will be the ISO here. 8 minutes for the third cycle. When Ken looks at the letter. Okay, it was a bit earlier because now he's already in motion. Otis is enforcing. Ken is not. I wonder if it's a peekaboo or just a double K on the stairs. Or just wait until he's downstairs. Unfortunately for Matty, he was seen changing disguises. Target locked down for the Observer. Surprisingly no question marks, that usually is the case.
I'll give you the short version. Nobody gets
But gets away with it and not going basement, instead going main with a non-trespassing disguise. The Observer will get his third point after an also very back and forth Bangkok. Very entertaining. But eventually all 3 games going Observer's way, and he will be the finalist on Sunday. Yep, GG. This time I do have to wait for the 5-star rating. And there is the Observer 3-0 and the final spot. And just going to let them know. That it is Observer advancing to the final. Which I can show now. Well, not the updated one, but here we had the semi-final lineup with Mika having to forfeit against Chris, but hopefully we can make a third place match happen on Sunday or Saturday evening. At this point we just want to say a match. And MattySpice versus the Observer just ended, so it will be Chris XC versus the Observer for the Hitman Gauntlet title. Nice. This doesn't work anymore now that there are more matches here. It's I mean, sort of, you can see it, and just keep it in mind. You won't be able to see the finals this way, but we've had the MattySpice, the Observer, just finishing, and we will have 2 show matches here. Once again, show matches are not for the brackets, because we wanted to keep the brackets as a 8-player single elimination bracket, because we knew it was going to be a 1-week affair, and we couldn't make it too long. You can see the scheduling is already a bit tough with these few rounds. So 6 of the players were asked to play show matches instead, and we will see 2 of them tonight. First, Zirun versus Linux Penguin, starting in just 19 minutes on this channel. And then Nezuko-chan versus Soviet will round off the Friday action. So that will be it from this match, and I won't end the stream, but for 90 minutes I will go to the ideal screen. You're very welcome to stay here, or of course, if you have other places to go, to show matches to play, you're welcome to do so as well. But for this match, thank you everyone for watching, and GG's to the players. See you everyone next time.